Mitsuki, the whole living together situation, what should we do about it?
Let's just forget about it.
Forget about it?
I'm done!
This is unacceptable. Yes, I get it. Mitsuki's shaken up by guilt over being with Takayuki. Boo freaking who. As we'll find out later, she has nobody but herself to blame for this. Regardless, you don't get to threaten breaking up with Takayuki unless he moves in with you, and then insist that it not happen the next morning! How unfair can you be? You're just the dictator of this relationship now, and its future is exclusively determined by your wildly inconsistent whims. Fuck me. How in the world is Takayuki okay with this shit?
Well, of course. It all makes sense now. No.
And guess what? I have to start off this time by once again stating that I am, once again, lost in the fabric of space and time because I have no idea what day it is now. We ended the last episode with Mitsuki telling Takayuki that she couldn't spend the night with him.
My boss noticed I wore the same clothes as yesterday, so nothing for you tonight. You're just gonna have to make do on your own.
Yeah, haha, masturbation joke, hilarious. After they ran into Akane, Mitsuki was completely silent, and now we cut in on some other morning where Mitsuki has clearly spent the night with Takayuki. So why don't you tell me what I'm supposed to assume here? Am I supposed to assume that this is not the next morning and instead at least a day has passed? Or am I meant to assume that Mitsuki once again lied to us, the audience, and that I now have no reason to trust anything that ever comes out of her mouth? You tell me.
This isn't a point of subtext. This is part of the setting. You have to make it clear to us, the audience, how much time passes between cuts. You can't give us date-specific plot points in one episode and then contradict them in the next. I should not have to remove myself from the show to figure out what fucking time it is. This is unacceptable.
Anyway, to make matters even dumber, Takayuki picks up a random cherry blossom on his porch, and this somehow gives him a flashback, first to Haruka in the bookstore, and then to the encounter with Akane nights ago. So for Mitsuki, it took a pool somewhere in existence, and for you, it's a cherry blossom petal? What wouldn't give you a flashback?
Miles! Hey, Miles, where'd you go, buddy? Oh, there you are. What the hell? Miles! Miles? How did you even do that? Okay, guess I'll clean it up.
Just place the OxyClean detergent ball in the blue toss and go dispenser. Just toss.
Hey, wait a minute. Why did I just flash back to all that? Whatever. Time to clean some poop.
The writers try to pull off a laughably desperate, incoherent tie-in by immediately cutting to present-day Akane, who delivers a sprig of cherry blossoms to Haruka's bedside that apparently come from the cherry tree in front of their high school. Okay, no. this is still bullshit. We have never seen this alleged cherry tree, and it's never been mentioned prior to this very second. It has absolutely no direct significance for Haruka or anyone else until they are now just declaring it. This is a retcon thrown in at the last second to explain away their baffling flashback device that they forgot to establish at any point prior to, this very second. Oh my god, would you stop with the flashbacks already? And this one is just bizarre. It looks like Akane is having the flashbacks, but they don't cut back to her when it ends. Instead, it cuts to Mitsuki, who looks equally lost in thought, who then has fuck right off the same exact flashback.
Hey, you want to split a salad or something? Oh, or maybe I could get a Reuben.
Are we descending into total madness? What is going on here? This girl looks nothing like Mitsuki. She has a completely different face, brown hair, and even different clothes. Why don't you explain it to me, Takayuki? You're probably the only one who can.
She has 10 fingers.
Thanks, you've been a huge help. Anyway, Suicide Susan catches Mitsuki fucking everything up yet again.
Wait, I thought I told you we didn't need copies of this.
Oh, you did? I don't remember.
I've noticed you haven't been yourself lately. Is everything okay with you? Want to talk about it?
No, actually, everything is fine with me.
Riveting dialogue! Anyway, I guess that was a scene because we immediately cut back to the Steel Samurai Inn restaurant, where Takayuki's phone call sends us volleying right back to the office building, where I continue to get pissed off.
I was wondering, do you have any plans for this evening? Around 6-ish?
No, I'm free.
Cool.
Okay, so let me see if I'm following this correctly. From Mitsuki's perspective, her relationship with Takayuki was going nowhere unless they moved in together because of... Anyway, all we got was vague looks on her face and no window into her mind whatsoever, so all I can guess is that she was being a drama queen. However, after Takayuki finally agreed to move in with her, one reminder that Haruka still exists completely shatters her entire life because, she's a horrible person who's been using Takayuki as an emotional and sexual crutch and, is now being reminded of that? Okay. Why should I like her then? See, this is why you need inner monologues when your characters are silent and inexpressive outwards. You can't just have them stare blankly and mumble and expect me to follow their motivations or even give half a shit in the first place. If I can't understand them, I can't invest in them. They cease to be characters and become rods in a slide puzzle. But guess what? When the puzzle's too indecipherable to be solved, I give up and move on with my life. Damn it, anime. Give me a reason to care.
Mayu and I caught her using the restaurant's phone to make a personal call.
That's not true!
Takayuki and Mitsuki go to a place where they start looking at apartment ads. Takayuki insists that they not put their lives on hold for Haruka until she wakes up, causing Mitsuki to collapse in his arms. Lesson learned, fellas. When your woman says that she doesn't want to do something, force her. Several months pass until the third day of month 6, which is apparently the day Mitsuki and Takayuki are supposed to go look at apartments. Elsewhere, Akane meets up with Dr. Faye Valentine?
So how did everything go today? With Haruka's checkup?
If I could have my way, I would start her on a rehab program right now. But I guess that's not a possibility until she decides to wake up.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Wow, aren't you very clearly an expert in the field of medicine? I can only hope she doesn't completely ruin the plot later.
Jokes are funny when they're jokes.
Dr. Valentine gets pulled aside by a fucking lolly nurse because anime. and we see that they've apparently connected Haruka's catheter to her IV before she conveniently comes out of her coma. To follow up this momentous, world-shattering event, the show abandons me yet again.
Watch your tongue. I made the curry a little extra spicy tonight. Hey, what?
You get the octopus from now on.
This is Akane. I'm calling with some good news. You'll be happy to hear it.
Haruka has come out of her coma. She wants to see you, Takayuki.
What?
So, is there a reason why Mitsuki and Takayuki keep putting off finding an apartment? Multiple reasons? No reasons? Why does this show insist on constantly regressing its own plot with no justification at all? But even worse, because we're not given any reason for them constantly flaking on their viewing appointments, this sequence is completely bewildering as it plays out. First, we see Haruka wake up. Then we see several weeks being marked off the calendar with sad music playing, so you naturally assume things either started going badly for Mitsuki and Takayuki again, or they found out about Haruka. After that, we see Haruka looking at Takayuki's name on her phone, which has no clear meaning either. My assumption at this point was that she had contacted Takayuki, but he wasn't returning her calls. Again, another sign that things were going bad. But then, we cut to Takayuki and Mitsuki having a wonderful time at dinner, and I'm completely lost. I mean, okay, so they didn't know that whole time? Alright, well, if they're perfectly happy together, then again, why haven't they found an apartment?
Hey, what's that? What's that on the ground over there? Is that the script?
Oh, that's right. It's because the plot says so. See, if they had rented an apartment together, that would force more urgent tension in these ensuing episodes, and they wouldn't be able to stretch the plot out ad nauseum.
Bravo, team. Bravo.
We return to Takayuki and Mitsuki, both shaken by this turn of events. Takayuki says that he can't go see Haruka, but Mitsuki, no joke, insists that he does. She even demands to go with him so that he can handle it. Etch this event into your brain. Do not forget it.
I can't go to the hospital. I can't do it.
If you decide not to go and visit her, you'll regret it every day for the rest of your life. Let's go there together, tomorrow morning.
But regardless of that, far more awful things await. And, well, oh my god, here we are. Fucking Dr. Faye meets them in the hospital while smoking, which I'm sure is totally acceptable for such a great practitioner of medicine, and drops the single dumbest plot point in the entire history of anime.
I'll let you in to see her now, but it's very important that you remember one detail when talking to her.
What?
Don't tell her she's been under for 3 years now. Her mind can't comprehend that. Don't tell her she's been under for 3 years now. Her mind can't comprehend that. Don't tell her she's been under for 3 years now. Her mind can't comprehend that.
One more time.
Don't tell her she's been under for 3...
Yep. Fuck this show.
I cannot overstate the toxicity of this plot point enough. Why? Because without it, the show would end right here and now. I'm dead fucking serious. Because of this nonsense, Takayuki has to now pretend to still be Haruka's boyfriend, and the two have to act as though they haven't been together for almost 3 years now. What a load of horse shit. The word contrivance fails to fully describe this horrific garbage. I've scoured every site, forum, and corner of the internet, and I have not found any evidence whatsoever that this was ever a medical practice for any doctor or institution at any point in time anywhere in the entire fucking world, especially not in 2001 when this anime takes place. This is the equivalent of movies that slap you in the face with the humans only use 10% of their brains crap. They know it's not true. They know it hasn't been true ever. But because they need to make up stupidity in their shitty stories, they couldn't function without it otherwise. Well, that's what this is. This story is so bad that they had to contrive the entire thing from this point on just to have a narrative at all. Basically, what I'm saying is, I hate this.
I'm 100% serious about this plot, by the way. Mitsuki and Takayuki came to the hospital for the sole purpose of telling Haruka about their relationship and everything that's happened over the course of the last 3 years so that everybody can put it past them and start to move on. But no! Get your reasonable adult behavior the fuck out of here! There's no room for realism in this hyper-realistic show. We're too retarded for that. Instead, this is allowed to perpetrate every single terrible thing that happens in this series. For now, the episode continues. Why?
I don't understand.
Anterograde amnesia.
No, fuck you. You do not get to use actual medical terminology to justify your bullshit by lying about what it actually is. In case you at home don't know, anterograde amnesia is the inability to create new memories. It's basically what Chihiro has in F, if not a wildly fantasized version of it there. But anyway, Haruka was in a coma, and as a result, there's a gap in her memory. That's not anterograde amnesia, you stupid cunts. You might as well say she has split personality disorder. It'd be just as accurate.
Anterograde amnesia. For her, time stopped on the day of the accident.
Actually, I meant to say omega grade amnesia. What it means is that she can't know that time has passed, or that there was a past, or that time is currently passing, or that there will be a future. And if she ever comes to realize any of those things, she will blink out of existence. Oh, shut up. It's totally real. Believe it. I'm a doctor.
No. That would be too dumb. After all, what they really need to do is hope that their audience is full of blindly ignorant morons and contrive a way to somehow make it seem legitimate that Haruka remembers nothing since the date of her accident. What, you think I'm overstating it? Exaggerating? Okay.
Oh no, the children's book exhibit is over by now. There's supposed to be another exhibit in a month. By then, second semester will have started and I'll be so busy studying for the entrance exams that I probably won't be able to go.
So now, I'm going to do a huge favor for all the dumbasses that actually think this is good by pointing out each and every single observation that would cause Haruka to instantaneously realize that time has passed. Ready? Here we go.
Let's start with the fact that this is apparently shortly after her accident, yet she's not in pain, none of her limbs are in casts, and all wounds have healed. That's fundamentally impossible. Next, there's Akane and the numerous problems she presents. 1. She's significantly taller. 2. Her voice is deeper because, you know, she's older now. And 3. She's practically exploding out of her middle school uniform because she now has the proportions of a young woman and not a child. But none of these things stick out to Haruka because she's a fucking clod. Speaking of Haruka, I wonder how many things she could identify about herself that would completely ruin this stupid scam. Well, for one, there's her hair, which is several feet longer, so that's one. There's her emaciated muscles and pale skin that should both also be dead giveaways, and then there's the fact that she can't walk. Not because she was in an accident, but because she's too enfeebled to do so. Finally, let's look at the logical problems we find when we dig slightly deeper. Akane's wearing her school uniform, so I think we can assume this is a school day. Again, I shouldn't have to assume what day it is, but this show can't handle keeping track of time on its own, so what other choice do I have? And because it's a school day, it's awfully odd that Takayuki and Mitsuki aren't also in their uniforms. I mean, they are still supposed to be in high school, aren't they? It's almost like them not being told before they arrived at the hospital and then being allowed in the room anyway was an unconscionable oversight that could have ruined anything and wasn't thought through by the writers because they cared more about having a single dramatic moment than a plot that makes any sense at all. Then finally, there's all these gaping looks of shock on everyone's faces at everything Haruka does and says. So let's add 1 to the total for each and every one of them. Of course, none of these give her any cues whatsoever because they're there for dramatic effect and not the making of sense.
19 plot holes created by one scene. Well, that's gotta be some kind of record. And how can you defend this? How is it possible? Well, I hope you enjoyed that because I'm certainly not getting anything out of it. The show continues anyway. So where were we?
Actually, I'm about to be very happy. Dr. Clownshoes kicks them all out of Haruka's room, but before Takayuki enters sulk mode, Akane demands their attention.
Takayuki, why did you have to come to the hospital with Mitsuki? And why are you even here? Was it just so you could show my sister how close you are to her boyfriend? I can't believe you'd come here and act like you give a crap about her! I hate you!
Akane!
You ignored my sister for 3 entire years when she was in a coma, and the whole time you were hooking up with each other behind her back. Akane, my sister's best friend betrayed her. How could you do that? Tell me! Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Do you feel any guilt at all? Takayuki, my sister needs you now. She wants you to be by her side. Yet you just stand there with that stupid look on your face. You're nothing but a coward.
Well, I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to enjoy that, but it's still the most fun I've had all day.
Akane finally snapping here is completely justified, and I love that she puts so much more importance on Mitsuki being Haruka's best friend than Takayuki being her boyfriend. Because that's the way it should be. Every girl I've ever dated has come and gone, but my best friends are the ones that are still around. When those romantic relationships go south, those girls are out of my life and I'm out of theirs. That's just the way it works. And that's how it should work for Takayuki too. He had every right to move on from Haruka while she was in a coma. In fact, the show is basically demanding that we believe that. The visual novel's true ending demands that as well. However, Haruka's best friend should have been there for her. She should have been the one to support her and be at her bedside when she could, and anything else within her power. Instead, she was trying to woo Takayuki while he was still dating Haruka by making him blow her off. It's inexcusable, it's disgusting, and Mitsuki is a disgusting person for it. Of course, Takayuki deserves blame as well because he's also been an asshole, but to a much lesser degree because until he and Haruka are hypothetically married, they're not family, and even now, they're still not best friends. They dated for a couple months. That's it. Story over.
But by all means, hurl your baseless accusations of sexism. Prove that you have no idea what you're talking about and no counter-argument whatsoever. Because, in case you forgot, Mitsuki and Haruka were best friends long before Takayuki entered either of their lives. Their friendship predates this dating thing for whatever month or two it lasted by years. So yes, I am still pretty apathetic about Takayuki, and I'm not cutting him any slack, but I despise Mitsuki. She is, far and away, without peer, the worst character in this show. But we'll save all that for another day. That's gonna do it for now. I'm still Will Ryan, and hopefully I will be by the time this is all over too. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys, Will Ryan here. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and click that little icon right there in the middle of the screen to subscribe. And if you want to check out more in-depth dissection like what you just saw, go ahead and click on one of the 3 previous seasons of 25 the Hard Way. Enjoy yourselves and stay skeptical.